Here we are Friday morning. We're in North Mississippi this morning on Enid Lake. We're fishing with Mr. Dave and Chris Godwin. And Dave, you worked for the Game and Fish for a while, didn't you?
Yeah.
26 years?
Over 25 years.
26 years. So we're going to do crappie fishing with crankbaits. We're going to start out at different depths, different color crankbaits. And I can already tell these guys have done this several times before. So hopefully we'll find the fish. That's kind of the key of the game. Find where the fish are staging up, see what we can catch, and then go from there. Good thing is I don't see many boats on the lake, so if we start catching them, we don't have to worry about traffic too much. So here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get some fish.
All right.
So we're trolling crankbaits this morning on Enid. We're going to start about 1.8 miles per hour and adjust accordingly. Sometimes we have to slow down a little bit. Sometimes we have to, we're able to speed up a little bit. But the game plan basically is to cover a lot of water and try to find fish. We've got several lines out with crankbaits. We're watching the sonar, seeing where we're marking fish. We're going to start on the south edge of this lake and cover some of these creeks and points that intersect the lake on the south edge. And so that'll be our plan to start this morning.
Sun comes up, things are going to change a little bit too. This cloud cover burns off. So colors change throughout the day sometimes too, Kevin. You start off with one set of colors, catch great, sun gets high, and you got to change everything out all over again. So you're constantly just monitoring what's going on with your color patterns and what the fish are biting on. But we're purely recreational fishermen. We still working full time. We get to do this once, a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on what we got going on and what the weather allows us to do. So I always kind of keep an arsenal ready when I want to switch. These are 200s, and since we're getting into some shallower water, I may switch a couple rods out. So that is going to be a crappie by the looks of it. That's on the 200 I just switched over to.
Yeah, we might need a little more of that, get above these fish.
Can't tell size anything yet.
Pretty fish.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, pretty fish. Really swallowed that thing.
They're like in black. So we were in some shallower water, and I switched crankbaits from a 300 bandit down to a 200 bandit just to kind of get it swimming higher in the water column. And that may be what we need to do, especially with this cloud cover. Fish may be up a little bit higher in the water column. And it seemed to work on that one, so I'm not sure this is,
Catfish?
Oh yeah, it is a crappie. He was pulling pretty hard, so I couldn't tell. Looked like he inhaled it a little bit too.
Make the travel team.
I like it when they make the travel team.
About 12 and an eighth.
Enid is a great little lake. It's one of what we call the Big Four. But one of the things that it's really well known for is that it's got the world record crappie. And even though it's a really old record from 1951, that crappie was reported to be 5 pounds, 3 ounces. And then it also has the record for the spotted gar and the short-nosed gar. And I think that spotted gar was about 8 pounds. I don't remember what the weight was on that short nose, so. Tater chip.
I should let Dave reel that one.
Little fella.
Little fella. He's gonna go back. That'd be a crappie, I believe. He ain't on by much either.
It'll be a close one.
Got it.
Looking to be over 12. Oh yeah. About 12.5-inch fish. Good job.
That does look like a good fish. Mouth on it looks great. Woo, look at that fish.
Good fish right there, y'all.
Dang, look at that.
Yeah, so obviously we came through a little pod of fish there, had a couple of bumps and caught a couple pretty quick. That's a really good fish. That's probably a 17, 16-inch fish. Still trying to figure out what colors are working best, and really still trying to find where the fish want to be. So we'll just keep working at it. Try to scratch us out a little mess of them. Kevin, that's a little over a 15-inch fish. And that's a fish that back pre-spawn would have probably been, 2.5-pound fish or so. We're catching them at the lowest point in their weight in the late summer like this. They've lost a lot of their weight that they don't have. Right. Measure him and see if he'll make it. Yeah, he does. It's a 13-inch fish.
Tie the rods to the holders, and then I don't have to break everything down. I don't have to worry about losing a rod out the boat.
We got a creek in behind us that's coming into this lake, and then a couple of points coming out in it. So this path that we're going to take is going to intersect a bunch of contour changes and a couple of creeks. And a lot of times you'll find that the crappie and the bait fish, for that matter, are associated with those ridges or contour changes. If we can find a good group of fish on any of those points, then we'll circle back around and kind of focus on those.
And he looks good.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty close, isn't he?
I think so.
Almost 13 inches.
So he felt awful good.
Good white crappie.
I got one on the other side, Dave. That
Okay.
outside line on the pink.
Yeah, pretty nice fish. Put the board of truth out here.
Is it on the line, huh?
Nah, almost 13. The Enid, Arca-Butler, Sardis, Grenada, they all have to be over 12. So we're looking for 12 and a bit. That fish is right at 13-inch fish, so we're good there. But, that's kind of unique. There's not a lot of places in our part of the South anyway that has a slot limit that's, a 12-inch fish. But, the results are sort of easy to see, and that's why a lot of people come from a long ways away to fish in places like Enid and Grenada and Sardis.
And it's a crappie. You're not happy.
Well, hey, almost in it. About 11 7/8.
Pink. This one's gonna be about the same size, I think.
A little bigger, a little better fish. He'll keep. About a 12.5-inch fish. Nice fish.
It's gonna be a keeper.
Yeah. Almost 14. About 13 3/4. But she's, look, we've we just covered along and we've scratched together a box of fish. And that's one thing about the technique. You know, you don't have to have a lot of specialized equipment, really. I mean, obviously we're using a autopilot troller and several rods, but I have a friend that bass fishes, and when he gets through bass fishing, he'll take a rod on each side, you know, on the front deck, and down through the lake he'll go and catch him a mess of crappie to eat. So you can do it with just a few rods, rig up different ways to have rod holders, however it works for your boat. Yeah.
SpongeBob!
Oh yeah, let me get a shot of this.
Little mess of fish right there.
I tell you what, we had a pretty good day. It started out a little slow, but then it picked up. Like you said, the sun came out.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
It was foggy and overcast when we started this morning. It's a beautiful day now, and I think that helped visibility. And we finally found a few fish, and she figured some colors that were working and
That's right.
put together a nice box of fish. Let's see what we got in there.